Daniel, the charger's near my thing.
Hold on.
KB, I got a Summers Point. I have a Summers Point update for you. We'll do that later on.
I didn't have it.
Hey, you gotta flip the camera back around, bro. Dude, we are not
E-Rock.
good at this.
Come on,
We're
E-Rock.
not good at setting up on the go, but what we are good at is getting down to the lies and the facts that have been spewed all over podcasting and radio and everywhere else. It took a month's time, but Dos Equis reached out. They debunked Brian McCarthy's claims by not only not working for Dos Equis themselves, but not any of the ad agencies they ever even considered to write for the Dos Equis ad. What do you guys think about that? I know, right? Hey,
Wow,
did you guys see the message?
Yeah, saw that.
I didn't. I did
Okay,
not
cool.
see the message.
Oh, yeah. All right, Trav, if you will, show the message one more time so everybody can see it. Flip it around, top left. Here it is. Sorry, we're on the road here. Go ahead and let everybody get a good read of that. I want to start off, saying, let's go ahead. Thank you, Dominic, Sin66. Thank you to the mole in California who sent me the phone numbers and email addresses to the executives that I was able to reach out to them. All the fans, man, Gil Bravo. Who am I missing? Schmeckel, of course, Joe Exotic, all these guys. They really stepped up to the plate.
Can you, hey, Ski Mask, can you send that to me so I can read it and over and over and over again?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll DM it. Do you want me to DM it to you now on the show, or? 'Cause I'm
Oh,
using
we
my
can do it on the
phone.
show.
Okay.
We can
All right.
we can just do it on after the show.
That'll work. Yeah, of course. I'll put it out there now. I received that Wednesday night. I was out to eat, having some tacos. My phone went off, and it said Dos Equis has sent you a DM. I said, oh shit, here we go. It's over. It's over. I mean, where does it go from here? He's been debunked. Not only if it might be his own views or opinions that he wrote for it. They stated in the message there's no possible way he could have ever been a part of it.
But SMC, who do we blame for this? Who do we blame?
I don't know who we blame. I think.
Oh, that's an easy one. We blame our good friend Kevin Brennan through Eddie, as Chad said, for bringing this guy forward.
Yeah, and I think it's over for him. I don't believe those are his accounts that are circling around on Twitter. I don't believe Lip Sweat is actually him.
Well, I see.
No, it is him because it doesn't get a lot of action. Wait, why Lip Sweat?
It's true, but the guys on Twitter now, they're actually spelling all the words correctly, most of them, and they're not lashing out.
Here's the thing. I just watched the Epstein thing on Netflix this week. And, the bottom line is that Brian's got a lot of Epstein in him because it's like Brian always talks about his money and then,
and touching little kids.
Yeah, but he was always talking about his money. And like when I watched the Epstein thing, I was like, they never said where Epstein made his money. Like he got fired from Bear Stearns, he did this. So, I mean, he might have been making money doing child pornography, like selling all those pictures they had when they busted into his apartment in New York. They found all these underage pictures. He might have been like in that business for a while. So the fact of the matter is, like, Brian is just like, nobody knows really. At this point, I don't even give a shit. I give a shit like 7%. But I'm just saying, like he doesn't have any friends. His best friend now is Bruce and Adam, who he met through me. So it's like He's just literally a flim flam man. And as soon as people catch on to him, they're like, next. They just move on to the next flim flam man. So it's like, never, he said, I said, well, where'd you make your money? Oh, the Dos Equis. It's like, he told me at one point they paid him $15,000. Like $15,000 in New York is nothing. It's nothing. It's like making $1,000 in Florida. It's nothing. It's so for him to say 15,000, it adds up to zero amounts of money. So even if he pitched some jokes to Dos Equis and then they're like, oh yeah, maybe we'll buy that, I'll use that. But the fact of it is, so where did he make his money? Where did he make these millions of dollars? Nobody knows. He doesn't have any friends that you can go like, okay, nobody knows anything. Just like with Epstein, nobody knew how he made his money. And it was just, he didn't really have any, it was all like just weirdness. That's why I brought Ken involved, because I'm like, Ken knows you got to make money. Ken's a businessman. Now he's choking, but he's a businessman. We're not businessmen.
What if Ken dies?
Chad has no money. Ski Mask is a young guy. I just know you got to make a lot of money to have money, because you got to make piles of money to save money, because you got mortgage, you got your everyday expenses, which basically eat up all your money, and then you got college for your kids and all kinds of shit. So you have to make piles of money to make any money. So I'm guessing Brian is either completely lying about his money, or he made money in illicit ways, or he gets all the money from his father-in-law and his wife's side of family. Because Brian's claim to fame is that the Dos Equis kind of put him on the map, and then he parlayed that into other money. But and that's why he would never show his money. That's why, I'm like, why would you? We had Little Stu Kamens on one week, and he showed me his money at the end of an episode. I did over 150, 200 shows with Brian. He never brought me a fucking bank statement. And I have Schwab accounts myself and fucking bank statements. It takes 15 seconds to process, to show them to somebody. If you have a printer, if Lenny's around, if you have
Lenny's
a printer. So this whole thing of like, I'm rich. It's like, okay, rich people don't talk about how they're rich. People who aren't rich.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. If you're actually getting paid $15,000 for a commercial, I don't think you're just going to be flim-flamming around talking about it everywhere you go, especially if you're lying, because it's going to get shut down. Somebody's finally going to step up and get to the bottom of it. But Kevin, it makes a lot of sense to me. NBA players are paid the most out of any athlete. If his wife was working for the NBA this whole time, it does make sense that she could have the real money.
No, she just started working for the NBA. She was working at a fucking hotel before that. She just started working at the NBA, and now she's not even working. The NBA's not working. She's furloughed. So this whole thing of like, it's like everyone's like how rich Epstein was. Okay, where did he get the money? Like, so it's like nobody knows. So it's like, is all Brian's money like dirt and filth or does he have no money? But he never really proves it, and nobody knew. Epstein, I guess, died with some money, but nobody knew how he got the money. Like he never had like a real job where he could show, I made this much money, I worked at GE, or I worked at Apple, or I worked at Microsoft, I worked these many years. Epstein never really had a job, and neither did Brian McCarthy. So Brian McCarthy might be a fucking a
pedophile. He's a pedophile. I think he's a pedophile. Because
I think you can make money on the dark web, with child pornography. I don't know this. I'm guessing. I have to look at before you can check my Google, my history on my fucking computer. Right, Ken? Am I right? Ken, don't you have to make a lot of money to have money?
You have to make a lot of money to make money. But remember, Epstein hooked up with this billionaire. So this billionaire fell in love with Epstein while he was a teacher. Epstein started his career as a teacher, and then he hooked up with this guy.
And he lied about that too.
Yeah, because he didn't have you're right, Chad. He didn't have a degree. So, but he was still teaching at that school. When they found out he didn't have a degree, he hooked up with this guy, Bear Stearns, who was a billionaire, and he became this financier that way.
That was a Ponzi scheme. The guy Bear Stearns is running a Ponzi scheme, or the first guy that hired him out of school was running a Ponzi scheme. And then that guy went to jail. So that he didn't have that money. We think he got the money from hooking up with the guy from from the Limited, from what's the fucking Victoria's Secret, that guy's money. So this guy's saying Epstein stole money from him, but it's like, again, it's just all, whatever's the opposite on the up and up, that's what it is. It's like, nobody knows, he never shows anybody. And the fact that Dos Equis would send you a DM saying, we have nothing to do with this Brian McCarthy, is just, it's fucking ridiculous. The fact that they would even take 15 seconds, the fact that they would take 15 seconds to DM you is comical.
Yeah. Well, they finally had enough because I was slowly, privately sending them clips. I went down to the protest here in my town. I asked people if they liked Dos Equis as a beer, and when they said yes, I made sure it was known that the guy who claims to write the commercials is a known racist by showing pictures of Brian looking like Hitler and the pictures of him with the Nazi tattoo on his arm. And so I sent those clips to Dos Equis. I reached out through email and text messages from the phone numbers that I received from the mole out in Hollywood. And I turned around, and within a few days, they sent me this message. I'll read it just in case people only listen to the episodes. It'll also be pinned on my Twitter for quite a while. Dos Equis reached out, and they said, "Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Brian McCarthy never worked at any of the variety of advertising agencies who have, over the years, produced Dos Equis advertising in conjunction with the brand. Whatever he is saying are his own personal thoughts and views and are not representative of the Dos Equis brand." Just beautiful stuff here, just shutting it down one day at a time.
I said from day one that guy was full of shit. No, everyone said I was lying and I was bitter. I said, no, he's a piece of shit. The guy's a liar.
House. How cheap are you that you hated the guy yet you stayed at his house?
I did it for the show. I thought it'd be funny.
I
could easily stay with Florentine. I could easily stay with Florentine, but I did it. I thought it'd be funny.
At least you had an expensive lunch.
I know.
Yeah.
It ended up costing me money, Kevin.
And then he got it too.
I thought Brian split the bill, and you went out for the sandwiches, right?
Yeah, we split the bill. It was like $150 bucks.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that you actually, because on my show he said he picked up the tab.
It's a complete lie. It's another lie. That's all he does is lie.
Right. Yeah, no, it's getting kind of bad out there. Just watching this show that he's trying to produce, that's embarrassing. The fans are jumping on it. I think it's over at this point. I'm gonna I'll pin the tweet to my account and make sure that anybody who still does shows with him, he's coming on and lying. And when the fans find out about that, they're not exactly going to be, enthused to hear that he's going to be on your show out there.
Well, he don't have a lot of fans. I think he has less than 100 fans. So I don't know what we're even, it's not like we're not talking about Joe Rogan here. I mean,
I know, but it's just nice to finally shut it out and kind of, close a massive chapter that has been one of his biggest lies claimed to fame.
Kevin, can I ask you? Kevin, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Chad.
Hey, let me ask you, the 2 years that Brian was on your show and the amount of money you paid him, does that just make you angry? Aren't you angry for all the money you gave him and just in the end he just smacked you in the face with disloyalty?
I love this new Chad.
What's the question again? I was moving around, so I had to open the window.
Go ahead, caller.
The 2 years Brian was with you and the amount of money you gave him to co-host your show, and you put him on a platform where no one ever would do that, and the disloyalty in the end, doesn't that make your skin crawl? Don't you feel like a fucking asshole?
It makes me feel like an asshole, Chad. Ken Mosca says his Lenny Sucks t-shirt.
Dad, what is going on with you, man? You've been on fire the past 2 days. That video you put out genuinely made me laugh. That shit was
Florida's
hilarious.
greatest comic.
That was good stuff, man. This is great. Chad's on fire.
To answer the question, Chad, I'm looking for content. I mean, I would do a show with Hitler at this point. I mean, it doesn't, I don't care. I mean, he was a blind alcoholic. He's a blind drunk. Like, what do you, I mean, like, I remember I was telling, whenever I tell anybody, like I was doing, when I had lunch with Louis a couple of years ago, and I go, yeah, I was talking about my show. I go, yeah, my sidekick's like a blind drunk, And I go, I mean, literally, he's an alcoholic who's blind. And you can just see people's eyes light up because it just sounds like fucking gold, you know, because it kind of is. But then, you know, the problem with Brian is Brian's like also an egomaniac. So he thinks everything is somehow should be about him. You know what I mean? Like it should be, he should be the star of the show. He should be going camping with Jim Norton. Just the fact that somebody thinks the fact that somebody wants to go camping with Jim Norton and then thinks they should be the one who goes camping with Jim Norton. It's so sick that it's like there's no words for it, you know? So at this point, do I feel duped? No, but I feel duped that I got married, but I don't feel duped by Brian McCarthy because I made money too. He didn't affect my credit score. Yes, my wife affected my credit score.
I wasn't going down that road.
That's official.
Yeah, I'm not
I
going to.
just found out from experience. I just found out from experience. Yes. Anyway, go ahead. Next caller.
Hey, Chad, is the first thing you did when you got to Tampa go to the men's section at Target and get you a new get-up? What's going on with the? Is that the new Florida look? Get the fedora.
Hey man, when you get the name Panhandle in Florida's Greatest Comedian, you got to dress the part, pal. It's what it's all about. I'm living life.
It looks like you found the nearest Cuban store. Did you pick up cigars too? I want to try a few of those.
Wait, who's saying this? Ski Mask or his brother?
Both of us.
His brother.
Yeah, we split it.
Because I know his brother's a fucking troublemaker. But I'll tell you this, Chad. If you wore that hat, if you wore the hat and the glasses and the shirt on every show, and you went by the name Panhandle, you would be Florida's top comic. Like you're Jamie Buffett. You're like what you can't miss. You're a can't miss. You don't even you could have like hacks writing jokes for you. You wouldn't even have to write any jokes. You would just have a team of Cuban writers and Puerto Rican guys working Mexicans.
Chad Buffet.
People of lower means than you. You know what I mean? You could just sit and you could live in a hotel like Telly Savalas. Telly Savalas used to live in the fucking Universal Hilton out in Hollywood. That's where he lived. That's called making. That's called making it when you live in a fucking hotel.
Kevin, who loves you, baby?
With room service.
Kevin, who loves you, baby?
Exactly. I think he's dead. You could steal that. I bet that's not patented. You can say, "Who loves you, baby?"
With a lot of
Florida's best comedian. How about a hand for Panhandle?
Panhandle, your headliner tonight. I can't wait. I think we are going to hold the MLC Awards in Florida. Me and all the boys are going to go sit front row and see Chad do some stand-up. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm serious too. No acting out, you know.
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Let's not get off track here. I mean, we just exposed Brian P. McCarthy, Kevin's sidekick, for 2 years.
You're right. It's finally done. You know, the fans have been waiting for it. I know Dominic came on with that report, and that really caused a stir. And a lot of the fans themselves, you know, reached out to Dos Equis. So they, you know, if they were even checking their DMs, they saw a lot of it. You know,
where do we go from here, Kevin? Where do we go from here?
I think the show's take action, Chad. They'll take action on him if he keeps this stuff up.
Yeah. I was trying to figure it out. What do you guys think about Ski Mask Collective trying to figure out what happened to Artie Lang? I mean, has it came out yet? I mean, I think I want to start this investigation. He's never gone this long without being on Twitter or on a show or having a meltdown or getting arrested. I mean, where is Artie Lang?
My sources tell me that he's alive and that he's safe, but he's not going out.
You guys have the same manager.
Oh, gotcha.
But he's not my source. He's not my source. I have an actually excellent source, and he's telling me that that Artie's not going outside. But hasn't been outside since like February.
One thing I know about Artie from afar is he loves attention. So he loves going away for a while and coming back with a million stories. That's his favorite thing in the world.
Some people call that being incarcerated.
And he'll lead with the Tony Curtis story.
Yeah.
I want to get to
He's
the
not
bottom of,
somebody-
well, that's a good topic, Artie Lane, but really, I want to get to the bottom of what's going on at the Compound Media. Ken's a loyal subscriber, Ken Mosca. No,
I am.
I don't want to get him in trouble.
Yeah, Keith the Cop is off Twitter.
Keith
What?
is off Twitter.
Keith's off
Yeah,
Twitter?
As
he's
far
on
as we know,
Twitter.
Keith the Cop no longer works at Compound Media.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is breaking
That's what,
news.
That's what's circling around out there, and I think that's why he said, because something happened online with him, and that's why he got mad with that last sign-off tweet and, signed off officially, but did not delete the account. So I'm waiting to see if he has any action going on to really figure out what happened to him.
And on his Facebook page, he resigned on June 1st, which makes sense. June 1st, that's the first day of the month. I don't know. You guys are smart. I don't have to tell you that, but. And then the next day he put out the tweet that he's done on Twitter. So I think he's, as far as I know, I'm hearing from very reliable sources that he's done at Compound Media. It makes sense. It's become, is like I've said before, is as bad as Keith is at it, E-Rock is going to be a million times worse because nobody likes E-Rock. People like Keith. Nobody likes E-Rock except Burger King employees because he shows up all the time. So it's for the last 2 weeks. Ken, am I wrong, or has it been a complete shit show? I mean, I heard In Hot Water I heard In Hot Water didn't even air one day.
Yeah, they didn't air. They're having trouble at the studios, but it's just, I think it's getting old with the remote shows. Not going into the city and doing the shows. They're having a lot of problems with that, but. I listen, I know here's breaking news. I know when there will be another Keith the Cop sighting, and it's going to be down here. Okay. It'll be down here. Oh yeah. I know where, I kind of know when, and it's going to be down here in good old Atlantic City, South Jersey. So get ready for that one. There you go.
My sources told me he killed a black guy.
Oh boy. Hey, do you guys think it's just like Anthony's been home too long? He doesn't want to go back to the studio. He has no reason to keep Keith around. So maybe thought about giving him a pay cut. Keith resigned. Now Anthony just let the whole thing go.
What happened is that Keith had it. He wasn't, as far as my sources are telling me, he wasn't being paid like he used to get paid. So it's like I think his line of reasoning, why am I staying here? All these fucking headaches. And the app never works. Whoever they switch to, the app doesn't work. Like they're always switching apps. It's like at some point you gotta look at yourself. It's like always having shitty girlfriends. I mean, at some point I gotta look at myself. So at some point you gotta go, what are we doing? Like the app never works. If the app never works, maybe you're hiring the wrong fucking people, or maybe you're reaching too high with we're gonna have 8 shows and 9 shows, and we're gonna have to do it live, and then the app, and then you can play, and then nothing works, and then nothing fucking works.
I can fix all of it. All they have to do is cut half their shows and get out from behind the paywall. There's no need for that. They can make money streaming on YouTube like Rogan.
That's just what I was gonna say, Chad. It's just too large, man. They have to cut down the shows they have and get out from behind that paywall.
Get rid of Chrissy Mayer, even though I want to fuck her. Get rid of her. Who else? What other shows can they get rid of?
E-Rock show. Bill Schultz.
Yeah, that show too. Got that. Anything but all people are watching are In Hot Water and Anthony's show a little bit, not as much as they used to. They lost a lot of subscribers over the whole Keith having a meltdown and between the app updates. They charged me twice last month. I don't really make a big deal about it, but I know some people would. They cancel on site if that happened to them. And so, it got too big, and then they couldn't keep up by, having adequate shows. Well, who's paying Bill Schultz 4 or 5 days a week? I mean, that's a little ridiculous if you think about it.
And I think Don Jamons is a funny guy, but that he's doing that metal show again. I don't know what I don't know what the audience is for that anymore. I mean, but I think he's a funny dude.
I think he could care less, but about the views, he's just having a good time, and I would milk it too. But like you say, nobody's watching any of that other programming. That's why I commend Joe Exotic. I mean, it had to have been a pain in the ass to go back and find all the old Burning Bridges episodes, because I go back and try to find one of the ones I called into. It takes an hour at least just to get to the episode, and then you got to find the part,
Yeah, they don't make it easy, but I think they reached too high. I mean, that was what they were always doing. I was like, why are you guys trying to, like, why do you have 10 shows? Why don't you just have like 3 or 4 shows that are good? And why you have all this extra weight that you don't need? And like, I'm not an expert, but I mean, it just seems like the more shit you put on your website, the harder it is for it to work. I mean,
Yeah.
I could be wrong. But it was like, I mean, people complain and I think Keith got saved because Keith would put out a tweet about, the new app, and then it was all trolling because it was like it never worked. But now that he's not there, it's getting worse. And then at some point, I think they're just going to be like, why are we paying for a studio? Why don't we just do it? Because I mean, Kumi used to do the show from his house, so they save a lot of money. They'd save a lot of money if they just cut shows and cut the studio, but. Who knows? I don't even know at this point. I don't even know. But I know Keith had it. Keith, I'm not telling. Keith doesn't talk to me, but he talks to people like I talk to. And Keith had it, and they weren't making money like they used to.
So is Keith and Anthony friends still?
I don't know about that. I can't speak to that, but I'm assuming they are. But so I don't know. I don't know if they had a falling out and then he quit. I don't know.
And I think Keith's wife is still working for Anthony as well. So they're probably still friends because she's still working for him.
I think Chad's right. If Kumia was to go on YouTube right now, release full episodes, especially in this environment and the type of guy that Kumia is, he could pick up an audience pretty quickly. Yeah,
but the problem with that is their fear all along was they're going to get shut down. I mean, I did a show with Luis Gomez. He said he was afraid they would get shut down if they went to Patreon or if they went to YouTube, so that's why they want to start their own thing. And Kumia, if Kumia was on YouTube a lot, I mean, there's enough people that will try to tip off YouTube that this guy's a troublemaker. And if he says anything that's inappropriate, it's pretty easy to tag it if it's on YouTube because Kumia got fired from other shows for saying stuff. So, it's tricky. I didn't have a problem with, them having a paywall. I did have a problem with thinking there was some kind of cult, even though I called them a cult, some kind of like a Manson cult where they were afraid to put anything out on YouTube because they didn't want people to draw attention to themselves because I'm like, well, how are you going to grow a business if you can't draw attention to yourselves?
And this was more Keith anyway, because Anthony never wanted to get involved in the business end of things. It's been that way for 20, 25 years for him. He was the guy who was going to be, the on-air guy. He never wanted to get involved in the business end. He used to joke about it on the old O&A show. He used to leave it up to Opie and make Opie the bad guy. And, Anthony never got involved in that. He was.
Yeah, but at some point you got to step in and go, okay, it's still mine. It's not Keith's network. It used to be called the Kumia Network. Now it's called Compound Media. So you can't just go hey, it's not my response. At some point, you got to go, okay. I'm sure he's involved now that E-Rock can't fucking figure out what to plug in where, So at some point, you got to go, okay, I got. It is my responsibility if I want to keep doing the network. But I don't even know why he would want to keep doing it if they're not making money. Why are you? What? It's not worth the fucking headache,
They should get Opie.
Especially they try to reach too high. They're always reaching too high. Keith was always saying, we're going to get this guy, we're going to get that guy. It's like, just keep it basic. Keep it fucking basic. But you got to have a live stream, then you got to have fucking on demand. It was it's not Fox News. You guys don't have the money or the technology for the sophisticated equipment that you need. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't know what kind of equipment you need, but I know it's more than they have. And this, no disrespect to Garrett, because all the sound guys, the booth guys do great, but it's they were never prepared. They never wanted to pay for the probably what they needed. And, but it all started with Artie. Actually, it all started with Artie because Artie, once they made, me and Gino both told him Artie's trouble. He's like, we got this. So as soon as when somebody says we got this, I'm like, okay.
You don't got it.
And it was the beginning. It was just the beginning of the end because everything was going great until then. They had a strong subscriber base. They had good shows. And good shows would leave. Fucking Skanks left and Gavin left, but they left because they were a good show. So there's no shame in that. But then you bring in Artie, who just a bunch of fucking headaches, and then it just leads to one headache after another. And then they lost subscribers from Artie, and then they try to save money with their tech stuff.
And then he lost his nose.
Go back to what Chad said. Chad said Opie. They were trying to get Opie in there for the longest time, and I think they thought they were going to get him. I think they thought they had a good chance they were going to get him. Chad's right. That's they were banking on that for a long time, and it just obviously didn't happen. Opie's doing his own thing.
Yeah, but Opie knows it would be a gigantic headache if he was over there. He just knows. He's already he knows what it would become, and now it's becoming it.
Well, who was behind the push for all the new shows?
As far as I know, Keith had it with like all the like Kumi on Twitter, and like you can't tell Kumi to get off Twitter. He ain't gonna get off. So at some point, it just becomes a fucking, it becomes a problem when you can't control the fucking talent. Not that I'm saying I was like one of those things, but it's like if you can't control the talent, then whatever, and then nobody can control Kumia. So that's just the way it is. Opie can't, fucking Keith can't, and that's just Kumia's he's a very talented guy, and sometimes very talented guys push it too far. Michael Jackson, Elvis, come on.
That's a good take. Rack 'em.
I like it. So I think Compound Media could be going south. I mean, there's nowhere to go from here. I don't know. You're going to have to cut shows or figure out a way to promote a little better. That's one problem they always had in the past was promotion of shows. I didn't even know about the network until I heard Kevin on Artie Lang's podcast, and I looked up more Kevin Brennan appearances, and I saw that he was on this thing called Compound Media. I didn't even know what it was at that time. So, I mean, they're just bad at promotion. It's done. It's in the gutter. In Hot Water will survive. It's a good show. I don't know if anyone would pick them up. They may have to tone it down a bit, but we'll see. We'll have to see where it goes from there.
You know how like some businesses, like when they're going under, like iHeart Media, they get bought out by other people to save them. Do you think there's a possibility Gas Digital might scoop up the Compound shows?
A couple of them, maybe.
They would in Hot Water. I think without a doubt. Gino's been over at Gas Digital doing a lot of shows over there the last 6 months. He's doing multiple shows over there, a lot of appearances. So I think without a doubt, Gas Digital would pick them up. Now, as far as Anthony, they would have to work out some kind of deal. I think Anthony, in the end, just going to relax and do his own thing. If he was to just
Anthony should just do the show from his house. Anthony should just do the show from his house because it's like that's how it started. There's no shame, and it's like, listen, he hates the city, he hates New York, he hates everything about New York. But I mean, they make it easy. The studio's near the train station, but still, it's like, why would he just not do the show from his house? His fans love him. They just want to see him every day. They don't need to see him in a studio. They don't need to see him, and Dave Lana can move in with them full time. And then, just do it that way. And then that way, they don't have any expenses. They get rid of the studio. They get rid of the other shows. And then Kumia, if they still want to get to subscribers, that way they'll make money again as opposed to making this big fucking gigantic. And it's like literally, I mean, it's such a headache that when I see people tweet about it, I go, it's unbelievable. Like when the other day when In Hot Water it didn't air, and then the next day, the Compound America, whoever runs that Twitter, I know it's Z-Rock, but he was like, hey, it's up now, so you can watch them back to back. And it's like, okay, well, that's not how it's supposed to work. Why don't you just watch them on Thursday? Watch 4 in a row, like binge watch In Hot Water. It's like that's not how it's supposed to work. But that's what they're saying and doing. And then that's why. And then when you work there, you're like, okay, the shit don't work. The money's not good. There's no benefits. And when you go on the road, you don't sell any tickets. So like, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm better off working at the Wawa.
Yeah, it's over. Speaking of which, I have Dave Landau coming on next week. Maybe I can get him to get to the bottom of some of this going on out there.
He's not going to get to the bottom of anything except a big fucking. I'm not even going to say anything.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Listen, he's so deep into that cult. He wouldn't say anything about anything. So good luck with that. Good luck with that interview, Mike Wallace.
Hey, I got to tell you, I did some guest spots, at Dave Landau's show about a week and a half ago in Fort Myers, and there were a lot of Compound Media people there. A lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Chad always says that, but then it's so coincidental, Chad, that every show I've done with Compound Media, nobody shows up. But whenever you're there, it's packed. So I know you're lying. I know you're full of shit to try to get my goat. I don't even have a fucking goat, but I know you're doing it on purpose. Compound Media doesn't sell tickets. So what? So 6 people came up to you and
Are
said,
you accusing me of antagonizing?
So 6 people. Chad thinks a lot of people showed up. If 6 people showed up at the Saturday first show, at the Saturday early show. Hey, hey Dave.
Hey, SMC. I guess this is not a good time for me to say I like Landau.
And Compound Media also, comedy clubs have been shut down for months. So, like, if you hear Dave Landau, you're a fan of Compound Media, and you hear Dave Landau's coming a certain weekend, you'll plan that trip. That's a big trip for a fucking hick from Florida, from the west coast of Florida. Be like, hey, let me drive 2 hours from Sarasota to fucking Snappers up in wherever the fuck that place is. So I'm just saying, it's like, Chad, I've been to the shows. Right? Ken Mosca, have we done shows? How about that show we did in Summers Point with me, Gino, and Aaron? We didn't sell any tickets. So it's like whenever I'm not there, so I'm dragging down the whole network.
You might have been.
So whenever I go, people literally boycott it, and then when I'm not there, it's packed. Okay, I know when they did the last show when I quit. Keith sent me a picture of Governors. He goes, "Look, Kevin, full room." And then I knew somebody who worked there. They told me they sold 122 tickets at Governors.
That may have been Coop's fault, though, Kevin. That may have been Coop's fault. She wants to give me that room.
Coop had nothing to do with Governors.
I'm talking about the other show.
I'm talking about all the shows.
You don't think that they were just going to see Panhandle and Dave Landau happened to be there?
Oh, it was Landau. He's the headliner. They didn't even know I was going to be there.
It was a joke.
No, you tweeted it. Maybe you tweeted it. Maybe Panhandle tweeted it.
He was throwing you one there, Chad.
Oh, okay.
Chad, if you don't change your name, the fucking Twitter name to Panhandle, you're a fucking bigger loser than I ever thought.
Oh, boy. Get a couple cigars going around.
Let me just run your Twitter account for 6 weeks. I'll make you a headliner.
You'll be in jail, Chad.
No, my Twitter will be gone.
Coming out of him.
I already let some guy try to run my Twitter, and it fell up. You remember when it got stolen by the Extension fans?
XXX.
Oh yeah.
The
fans attacked you on that, and you were able to get your blue check mark back. How many emails did you have to send to get that thing back?
It was all the fans that did it. Like, I barely did anything. They were like,
awesome.
They came behind. They had my back. So credit to all of Kevin's fans.
Yeah, but some of those hackers out there are pretty good at that stuff. I know my little brother was talking some noise on PS4, and they hacked his account, and he lost it for a few days. Like, you can't say anything.
Well, the problem is, if you get a problem, you just have to beg. You have to just wait for them to fix it. You can't go to customer service at Twitter like you can go to fucking Sears Roebuck or Macy's. You have to just wait. You have to just wait and email them and wait some more. It's like the pandemic where you just wait. You just fucking wait. I'm always waiting.
Kevin Brennan showing his age. Sears Roebuck. Way to go, KB.
I said it as a joke, and for you, Ken Mosca, because I know you get a kick out of Sears Roebuck and Company.
Hey, Kevin, I want to come back around to Brian McCarthy real quick because I forgot to bring this up. You remember the one burning bridges where Brian said he got stopped at the airport and he had drugs on him and he went to jail for like 10 days?
Yeah.
That's probably another lie. That's probably a total lie.
Yeah. Did that happen in New York? What state did that happen in?
It's a public record. Where was that?
Florida.
Yeah. Florida.
Where? Jamaica. I think he was in Jamaica and they busted him in Miami, and then he was in Miami jail.
Okay, there should be public record out there. You may have to pay a little bit of money, wink, wink, Joe Exotic. Get your hands on that if it exists. If it doesn't exist, well, that plainly means it didn't happen.
Listen, it doesn't matter if your sidekick's a liar. It just doesn't matter. Like it really matters if your sidekick shows up on time every day. And Brian did. And for being a blind drunk, he was pretty punctual. So at some point, yeah, it works against you. Just like, you know, sometimes, you know, you meet some hot girl and you're like, oh, this girl's great. And then she starts fucking other people. Then you're like, oh, this is not working out so good. So, you know, Brian, I think got full of himself and he's like, he can go off on his own. But a sidekick is a sidekick. I mean, he's classic sidekick, but he's sidekick all the way. Just like Lenny J. Marcus was sidekick all the way. And he's like, I'll be fine. They're all going to be fine. So the point is that you can only take the sidekick thing so far. Chad, I'm talking to you now.
Kevin, here's another thing I want to bring up, and I texted it to you. I think Jim and Sam might have a problem with you.
I think they might.
Uh-oh. Really?
Yeah, because I tweeted something, and then when the racist comics list came out, they read a lot of the comics on the list and never mentioned Kevin's name, and Kevin was clearly the star of that list.
Yeah, but you don't think they were doing that to try to protect him, like he's a friend of the show?
No, because they said Aaron Berg, and they said a couple other guys that they're friends with. And what's Corinne Fisher?
Corinne,
wow,
yeah.
So
Corinne.
They did that backward move where they're not even naming the name.
Did they name Corinne? Did they name Corinne?
Yes, they did. And she was on the show 2 days later.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think they think I'm a troublemaker. I don't know. Listen, I mean, maybe I am a troublemaker. My wife don't like me. My kids like me, but I feed them, you know? So I'm just saying, I think Sam, listen, I don't even have a,
Sam.
I mean,
Sam stinks.
The only way you get fired.
Sam.
No, I don't.
Jesus.
I'm just saying. Sam's a businessman. The
What?
The only way you get fired. He knows what. The only way you get fired of Sirius Satellite Radio is by HR. You can't get fired for having a shitty show. So he knows that if their show is kind of just goes along, it'll be fine. Pete Dominic had a show for 10 years before I called him out so badly that they finally axed him. But I'm just saying that Sam is like, why? We don't need trouble. We'll have Rich Voss call in from his fucking house, and you know we'll pretend it's 1999 or 2006 when these guys were all relevant, and we'll have a couple of laughs. But nobody gives a fuck, you know. So I'm saying, but Sam's like, hey, I want this job. This is a good job. It is a good job. They have benefits unlike Compound Media. So you have a good job. You don't get in trouble, and you keep your job. We're gonna cut all this part out. Anyway,
I need a new business.
I'm giving shit, but it's a nostalgia show. The people that listen to Jim and Sam, it's all O&A nostalgia. So they bring in Bobby Kelly and Rich Voss and Jim Florentine, and they're all like, hey, it's just like it was 8 years ago or 12 years ago or 18 years ago. It's not. It's over. It's fucking over.
Don't forget Mark Normand.
And Mark Normand, but it's nostalgia. So they bring Mark Normand to spice it up a little bit because he's so edgy. So that's what they do, and they young it up, bringing in Mark Normand and what are those other fucking hacks that he hangs out with. So the point is that it's all nostalgia. So they don't need me to come in and maybe say a bad word, and then they get into trouble. I mean, when I got in a fight with Dave Lando, they fucking edited it. They said they edited it to protect me. They did it to protect themselves, probably.
Yeah.
Because they like, oh well, if they show you putting your hands on him, then you won't be allowed back in. I haven't been back in since anyway. I think I've been in the building once since then. So fuck them. And Dave Lando, he's a tough guy. He's a O&A tough guy too. The first thing he said when I went to kick his ass is, "I'll call the police." Who says I'll call the police? In New York, especially on the radio, he's gonna. I don't even think his phone will work in the fucking studio. I don't think the Wi-Fi is very good in there. So for his first instinct, a tough guy from Detroit to be like, "I'll call the police." It's fucking ridiculous. But they cut that part out. But somebody reminded me on Twitter because somebody was saying like Dave Lando will kick my ass. I'm like, he's gonna call the police on himself, so he won't have to fight. I'll meet you at 12 o'clock and then I'll call
Go ahead.
911. I'll call them at 11:55 and be like, I'm about to get my ass kicked. Can you show up in a couple of minutes?
I want to go on record and say that I'm friends with Dave and he's a good guy.
Okay, the record is sealed.
Me too.
Yeah,
Dave
I
did
got Dave going on
Dave,
next week.
he did a show for me.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
saying.
we'll circle it
I'm
back
just
around.
saying all these tough guys. I'm saying all these tough guys, all these O&A tough guys, and I'm a tough guy from Detroit. I'm a tough guy from Long Island. It's like they want to call the police. Call the police, man. Just take a fucking one punch.
Hey, just for the record, Tuesdays with Stories has 27,000 Patrons, just for the record.
27.
Is that a real number? Wow.
No.
That's 2700. They're making $11,000, almost $12,000 per month.
Oh my God! No wonder.
Okay, they're splitting it. They're splitting it, and that's not even a lot, Chad.
I'm just letting you know. I'm just giving you an update, Kev.
Okay, it's not even
We'll
a
get
lot.
those numbers up there, Ken. Don't worry.
The guys,
We'll get
that's
those
like
numbers
what?
up.
That's like that's 5,000 a month. Like, who gives a shit? Why you? Wow. Okay. Panhandle is now getting on my nerves.
Panhandle. All
Chatty
right.
lies. Chatty
we're
the
gonna head
lies
down to
and
the
brings
beach.
up stuff that's not even like. I mean, Cometown makes like what 800,000 a week or something. So it's like
Yeah,
it's not even.
ridiculous.
And first of all, Mark Norman. Chad is always like, hey, why don't you be like Mark? Why don't you be like Mark Norman? You're his age, Chad. You miserable old middle hack. I'm not even his age. You're his Mark Norman's age, right? Aren't you all in 40-ish? Guys, no wife, no dick. Your dick don't work.
Where did that
Hey,
come
I'm a
from?
traveling comic. I can't settle down with a lady. Plus, I like cock.
Is your
Are you
wife
only saying
home?
that because of the hat?
She's in another room, Chad.
Because this is classic Brennan. You haven't been angry in a while.
Yeah, because whatever.
Nobody's home.
Great.
No, my
Yeah,
son all of a sudden got quiet when I said that last thing. So maybe he's like, oh, maybe thought the comedy's over. Maybe thinks I'm really whatever. Yeah, I'm just saying, Chad. Chad, you should step up your game.
I'm halfway retired, baby. I'm halfway. I got one foot in retirement, and the other foot is Florida's greatest comedian.
Great. It's a midlife crisis. Ooh.
And listen, Chad has a really good podcast. I know I'm going to be accused of kissing his ass and all that bullshit. I see your thumbs down. Yeah, I see your thumbs down.
Chad, how's your Patreon doing? What's Chad's Patreon at? You hide it, Chad, like a bitch.
Sorry, Chad. I tried, brother. I tried.
What's your Patreon level at, Chad? Chadley?
No.
I got like 113.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You stole them all from Brian. That's his number. Brian's always at 113.
The deal's still out there. If you delete Brian's Patreon and come over to mine, I'll send you. I'll actually give you money just to do it.
No, just go over and paint your house like you're doing with Gladwell Ape.
Well, hey, I think Joe Exotic got Brian's YouTube. Now he's got his Twitter handle. I think next on the list is for Joe Exotic to get his hands on Brian's Patreon account. Wouldn't that be
I thought
something?
you were gonna say get his hands on his wife.
Bob, that's up to him. If he was to film that would bring a lot of news. I'm sure the fans would love it. And who knows? Yeah.
The real question is, what the hell is Adam still doing there? I keep waiting to see his legs swinging from the top of the screen one of these days, during these shows, and on the top of his ceiling, Adam was here, something like that, kicking the chair out from under.
Oh, kind of like what's his name in Shawshank.
Shawshank. I keep waiting for. I can't understand Adam, hanging in there. I keep waiting for him to stroke out or whatever.
So, Ken, you're saying Adam should commit suicide during Brian's show?
You get better ratings, Chad, don't you think? Can you imagine? That'll go viral.
Yeah, you will get a bump. You will get a bump from that. Listen, Adam's
really hand him in, and then
there we go.
They lied about those Equis, and
here comes the good egg. Here comes the Adam is a good egg. Go ahead, Kev.
Adam's a good egg.
Yeah. What a shock.
Listen, I met Adam. I met Adam in 2016. Adam's never it's uncanny. Adam's never fucked up. Like, I know I'm jinxing it, but he's never even Like, what? You remember when I was at Riotcast? Every week they had some excuse. It was hot in the studio. The shit didn't work. I was eating crackers, and that got on the computer.
Yeah.
It was just all. It was like remember they one time they played an episode, and there was like you couldn't even hear or something, and so then I had to use the episode off my iPhone, and they were like, well, you know, it's. They go, well, it is summertime. I go, what kind of a ragtag operation are you running here?
Right.
And then, like I said, even with Adam, you know, and he's like the mailman, like through sleet and snow and all this other bullshit. The episodes still go up. Like Compound Media, E-Rock can't even put up a show. In Hot Water wasn't even up. It didn't go up. How is that possible?
I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they can't get their act together.
We're talking about years. We're
talking
about years.
It's 98 degrees in this barn, and I was able to throw this show together, and I got a ski mask on. You don't see complaining. You know, get out there, do the shows, put it out. It's a lot of whim-wham, people complaining. No one wants to do the show. And then when it comes time to do the show, they can't be funny anymore. It's a little ridiculous. Yeah, you're right, Kevin. They need to get out and really get it going, because otherwise.
Wait, you guys are in a bar?
A barn.
Yeah.
They're in a barn.
Oh, a barn.
Yeah. Now, we'll be in a bar tonight. We're not recording an episode there tomorrow. We got a couple of MLC fans from Houston coming out. RJ, I think, the guy, he's always commenting on stuff. The guy with I think he's got a Trump profile picture. He's coming out. And a few of the other fans.
You guys, you and your brother always hang out like a couple of fags?
Yeah.
I'm worried about the goats behind them.
Yeah, I just got here.
And Mosca with a zinger.
Yeah, let's not start talking about brothers, Kevin.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, do you think there's somebody behind Neil putting out all those tweets like that, or do you think he's genuinely doing it himself?
I think Neil's got mental illness. I mean, listen, I don't even know what to think at this point. Like, it's such a sham what he had running. What's going on? Why is everything moving around? It's such a sham. Is this a still shot, Ski Mask, or is that you?
Yeah, we're still going, so just keep talking. Who gives a shit? There it is.
The point is that it's such a sham. Like, Chappelle just put out a new thing, I guess, today or last night. And people are always saying it's the most brilliant thing since the fucking when they painted the Sistine Chapel or whatever. But the point is that, like, Neil sits around, he puts out his little tweets like about how, you know, this and that and black people, and like, I mean, I think Michael Che called him out for like basically shut the fuck up. You're not black, so stop it.
Are we doing a Brian McCarthy here?
Yeah,
we're
doing a Brian McCarthy.
I got you, Ski Mask. I'm the only one that noticed.
Yeah,
These guys are yakking.
So
By the way, I watched the Chappelle thing. It wasn't brilliant. It was good, but it wasn't brilliant.
Okay, so for Neil to keep putting out these tweets like, hey, look how loyal I am to you, black people, and like they know what it is. They you know, first of all, he makes these tweets that are like not even good analogies, and it's just, it's so, like, at this point I just think it's like I don't know what he's doing, but it's not entertaining, and it's not funny, and it's not, so he's like he's such grandstanding, because it's like everyone's kind of supporting black people now, except for me. You know, I'm going out on a limb here, and I'm just saying, like, I didn't say he had that coming, but no, I'm kidding. I'm saying,
yeah.
I'm saying it's so easy now. It's so easy now to just go like, yeah, all cops are bad and all black people are great. So it's like, so for Neil to be like, you know, the cops that kneel with the protesters, like, hey, it's, you know, it's too little, too late. It's like, shut the fuck up. And you're not a cop. Neil's never had a real job in his life. You're not a cop. Being a cop is a shit job. So just shut the fuck up. But Neil's like, hey, I want to jump on the bandwagon too and get some props from Dave Chappelle or somebody that I'm sticking up for black people 100% wholeheartedly. It's disgusting. I was going to give out his number. They were asking for his number on the Compound Cuck thread last night. My fingers were itchy. I was so close to giving out his number. Because they would know if I gave his number to Joe Exotic and Jim Stansel and that crew, there would be some damage.
I've given out numbers.
Stansel, wait for him to get drunk, and he can give it out on my show.
Who?
Jim Stansel. Give it to him, and I'll plan a show with him. I'll get him nice and drunk, and then we'll play a game where we'll release a number every few
No,
weeks.
I can't do it that way. It'll get leaked to me. I got to do it without anybody knowing how it got out.
Kevin, you should call Neil on air.
Well, the thing is, Neil wouldn't pick up for me, but Neil does pick up. Neil does. I mean, one thing I got to say about Neil, he always picked up. So if Jim Stansel called Neil, Neil would pick up, and he would say, Neil would go, hello, and Jim would go, hey, it's Jim Stansel. So it would be awkward as fuck, because then Neil would be like, who's Jim Stansel? And then, but I'm just saying, Neil would pick up. So if you can videotape that and maybe get into that ABC show, Funniest Home Videos, that would be good, because I could use the $100,000. Anyway, you guys all suck, and I've had it, and I'm getting divorced. I was gonna get divorced today, except I didn't know how to upload a document, so I have to wait.
I gotta get a new business partner. Chad, I'll talk to you when I come down to Tampa in August.
Yes, please.
Hey, I'm going in August too.
Well, hey, Kevin, let's do a look.
Who are you going to see in Tampa? Any comic, or are you just going?
I'm just going to look at some kind of business deal, and then I planned on seeing Chad as well.
All right. Gladwell Ape, you guys could go see a show together and say, hey, Chad, you could say, this is my dad. Can I do a guest spot because my dad's here?
Don't let the beard fool you, all right?
Kevin, we should do some shows together down here. Do a little run since all the fans are down here.
Yeah, all the Dave Landau fans. Maybe we can pick up some.
A lot of MLC fans in Florida and around that area, up the East Coast. I think that's where we're going to do the awards.
And it makes sense because the New York Yankees has minor league teams down here, so that's probably why there's a lot of Compound and Misery Loves Company fans down here.
Yeah, because I know I'm Yankees all the way.
Yankees. All right, we're going to wrap it up.
Me and Lenny, Yankees all the way. Yay, Yankees. I hope the baseball season gets canceled. Like, they're threatening it. I hope it gets canceled because these baseball players are such bitches. And I'd love to see everyone was waiting for the first Yankee season with that fucking traitor. What's his name? Kyle or Cole, the guy from Houston. Now he's pitching for the Yankees. What's his name, Ken?
Cole.
Cole what?
Cole. What is it? He played for the Astros, didn't he?
His last name is Cole.
Oh, what's his first? Garrett Cole or something?
Yeah, Garrett Cole.
Yeah, anyway, I'd love to see, like, because I know if they didn't have a season this year, Lenny would be like, oh, my God, what's going on? I can't even get a break. They finally signed a guy. Now he's not even playing. Well, honey, we ever going to move, honey? Are we just going to live in this little apartment for the rest of our lives because it's centrally located?
Hey, SkiMask, thanks for having me on again. It was a lot of fun. You're killing it, brother. Keep up the good work.
Ken,
where are you going? Ken, where are you going?
Chad, you are the man, brother. You too. You are the man,
you
Chad.
Signing off? Chad, Ken, you signing off?
I'm signing off. I'm on my way to the blueberry capital of the world called Hamilton, New Jersey. Kevin knows it well.
For what?
I'm going to Hamilton.
For dinner?
Hey, yeah. What's the matter with you? Come on. You know how I roll.
Get some blueberry. They do have some sweet blueberries down at this time of year down in South Jersey. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was a great day down here. Got a beautiful breeze here tonight, and you're missing it. You're missing it, KB. You're missing it.
I might go to the Wawa or the Cracker Barrel. I'm trying to decide right now.
Hey, you guys are fucking taunting me. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, go get your Cracker Barrel, Kevin. You got to get.
I would kill to go Cracker Barrel right now. Oh my God, that's Sunny Boy breakfast.
Ooh, sunny side up too.
No, I don't know. The morning sampler. Anyway, it's the best pork chops and fucking. I call it the Bobby Kelly. They give you a little bit of everything, and you're very full by it. Biscuits and fucking and what's that? What's the thing that looks like rice? Grits. Oh my God, it's fucking delicious.
Grits are delicious.
Ken, we got to open up a down there. They don't have.
I got some news, but I'm tapping out on that, brother. Hey,
we got to open a Cracker Barrel down there.
Nah, I tell you what, Trump Plaza is being imploded at the end of the summer, and there's a Cracker Barrel going right there, Mississippi and the Boardwalk in Atlantic City. For real? For real. What do you mean for real? Why would you say that? Why would you ask me for real?
Because that's a lot of information. I just hearing for that it's being imploded. Was that planned or is that just happening recently?
Yeah, no, it's planned. Where do you go for your South Jersey information?
The train. The ice cream parlor.
Yeah,
No,
right.
it's not a big story. Isn't that a big story with Trump's in the news every day? Wouldn't it be a big story if Trump Plaza was being imploded? When the liberals jump on that, like, look, his whole life's imploding.
It's scheduled for soon after Labor Day.
Wow.
Good.
They're gonna be using that in the news to try to look what's happened to Trump and his whole thing. This will be right before the election.
It's imploding.
Mayor Marty Small, that's the man. That's the Atlantic City mayor right there. He's a good man. Marty Small.
Was he a former lifeguard?
Basketball player.
They had the Atlantic City gets the worst mayors. One time they got a guy who was the head lifeguard and they made him mayor. He went from
Bobby Levy.
His last job, yeah, Bob Levy, the great Bob Levy. You can't go wrong with a name like Bob Levy. His
Bob
job
Levy.
was he was the head lifeguard. They pushed him into the mayor's job. How long he last? Did he hide? Didn't he go AWOL for a while?
Yeah, he went AWOL for like 3 months because he said he was a Vietnam veteran and a decorated veteran, and he got
After
caught
he became
on
mayor, they couldn't find him. Atlantic City, that's a real city. The mayor went AWOL and he said he was having a nervous breakdown. I'm like, well, how they can't make this stuff up?
Kevin, why aren't you giving Ski Mask shit for moving around and like you always do me?
Because I don't know what Ski Mask is.
I'm trying to pack this shit up, man. I was just trying to wrap it up for 15 minutes.
He's been trying to wrap it up. He's in Texas. He's in a bar with a fucking mask on. He's hot as fuck. He wants to wrap it up.
Ski
I
Mask,
gotta be at the beach in an hour, and it's an hour drive. I gotta go by, get some microphones, get a bunch of booze.
All right,
for
Ski
the ladies.
Mask. Thanks.
I'll be at Side Splitters June 18th through the 21st with Mike Vecchione. Come on out.
All right,
Hey,
Sky.
Mark. Handle.
Go see Panhandle. He's killing it.
Ski Mask and his brother. Ski Mask and his brother Travis. Have a good weekend. Ken, I'll talk to you later. Chad, don't get bit by a shark.
keep up the good work, Ski Mask. You're doing great, brother.
Thank you, kid. We're going to have a lot of content out Monday. Got a lot of the MLC fans coming out to the beach tomorrow. And we're going to throw a little party celebrating Brian McCarthy's losses. So you guys check that out. And be sure to retweet the official message from Dos Equis. I'll put it out here in just a little while.
When's
Tell
the
your brother
show
leave-
going up?
Tell your brother leave those goats alone.
When's the show going up?
When's the show going up?
When's the show going up?
As soon as possible. I've never done it from my phone, so let me see how long it'll take. Maybe when I get to the beach, I'll put it up. It'll be up tonight.
Lenny sucks. That's right. It's right on the T-shirt. You can't make this. If it's on a T-shirt, it means it's true. Lenny sucks. All right, everybody, signing off.
God bless.
Later, guys.
God bless.
See you, Chad.
Bye, Ken.
Gotta end this thing. Stop recording. You'll receive an